Okay, like I said, I wanted to quickly go over this one interesting hand that we had from our session that we just finished. Um, I had queens here, so the standard play obviously was I open raised it. I end up getting called by this guy here, and I don't have a lot of hands on him, but he calls open raises fairly liberally. So, you could have some kind of suited connector, high cards, pretty much anything there. So when this flop happens, I pretty much know that there's no way that he's beating me here because even though he's kind of a loose caller, he's not that loose. So, at best, he maybe has a pair, which I would hope that he, got a pair here because that means I'm going to be able to take him the whole way. But he's also kind of aggressive. His aggression percentage is 48%. So, and he folds to continuation bets 67% of the time. So rather than just lead out here like I would against a majority of people, I check to induce a bet from him, which is what I got. And then I just called the bet. I could have check raised him, but, you know, even if he has an ace and a king, he's basically drawing to a little more than three outs against me here. And at the time, I wasn't really that worried about the flush, but, I figured I'd just call and see what the turn brings. Now, when the flush card comes out there, it's kind of scary, but this guy's also aggressive, and if he has a flush, by me betting into him, he's just going to raise, and then I'm going to be put into a kind of a crappy situation. So I figured that my best bet here is to check to him, and hoping that he bets with the worst hand, which he does do a half pot bet here. Now again, instead of me check raising, I'm pretty much, this is one of those I'm either way ahead or way behind type of situations. My hand's too good to be folding, and more times than not, I'm going to be ahead here, so I'm just going to call. Then when the 8 comes, it is another scary card here, but I think a lot of times my hand is still good, and this guy with an aggression of, 48%, he's got to be betting with some, 10-9 or something like that, more times than not. So I'm either way ahead or way behind here, so I'm going to check to him again. And he bets, and I call, and he shows the flush. Now, you know, the way I see it is, if I would have made the continuation bet on the flop, the way that he is, he's either going to raise that continuation bet or he's going to call, but there's no way that he's folding with two overcards and, second to the nut flush draw. So I basically, in my mind, he did draw out on me, but I don't think that there's any way that I would have gotten him to fold his hand before hitting his flush. So I think that I ended up, he would have ended up putting in the rest of his stack had I shown any kind of aggression towards him. And at that point, I would have been stuck with a really hard decision on whether I was going to call or fold. I probably would have folded just because I don't know enough about him. And, he could have 9-8, he could have the flush, he could have a straight at that point. And it just, it sucks, but I feel like I ended up saving. That's almost 50 big blinds. So that's the way to play it. If you guys have any other ideas on how to play it, then, I'm all ears. But that's what I did, and hopefully that's informative. Till next time, thanks.